All right, why don't we get started? So this presentation today is on building a path to permanent residency for your workforce. Today we're going to talk about green cards. I am the speaker here with you today. My name is Nicole Stone. I am an associate attorney here at Farmer Law PC. I have vast experience in the green card process, as well as filing H-1Bs and some L-1As and managing ASVVP audits, in addition to working on some H-2A matters as well. Before joining here, I did work at a large law firm in Boston, Massachusetts. We're going to break this presentation down today into 3 separate stages. So first, we're going to do a brief overview. Then we're going to discuss the process a little bit, and then we're going to get into the stages a little bit. So for the overview, a green card grants lawful permanent residence in the United States. It allows a foreign national to live and work in the US permanently once it is issued to them. The PERM labor certification is the first step in the employment-based green card process. It proves there are no qualified US workers for the job offered to the foreign national that you are sponsoring for their green card. The employment-based visa is a type of immigrant visa that leads to a green card, and you must be sponsored by an employer and have a valid job offer. The EB2 and EB3 are the most common categories for professional and skilled workers. It's important to note as well that the employment-based green card process is a process based in good faith. So what that means is when you start this process, the employer is making a good faith promise that when the employee receives their green card, they will hire them in the position stated on the PERM labor certification. In return, the employee is making a good faith promise that when they receive their green card, they will accept the position offered on the PERM at least the wages stated in the PERM when they receive their green card. EB1 is a pretty rare one to see. It includes priority workers such as individuals with extraordinary abilities, outstanding professors or researchers, and multinational executives or managers. There is no PERM labor certification required for the EB1 process. It is very challenging to receive an EB1 as you must be outstanding in your field. EB2, for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional abilities, it's including those applying for a national interest waiver. PERM is required for EB2 unless you are filing a national interest waiver case. EB3, for skilled workers, professionals, and other qualified workers with relevant experience or training. PERM is required for all EB3 green card applications. And the end goal is successful employment-based immigration that leads to permanent residency in the US for the individual being sponsored and their eligible family members. What is a green card job offer? It's a promise of future employment. The foreign national doesn't need to work for you during the process, but must do so after green card approval. The employer and the foreign national commitments. You're committing to hiring and paying at least the PERM wage. The foreign national commits to accepting the position when they receive their green card. The wage is a minimum floor, it is not a cap. What that means is you may pay above that wage stated in the PERM at the time they receive their green card. You just cannot go below that wage. Key compliance notes. No lawful status is granted by the green card process until the green card is issued to the individual and their family members, if applicable. The foreign national should maintain lawful status unless or until their 485 is filed. Avoid tailoring the role to one foreign national when you're filing a PERM. H-2A, H-2B, and TN are non-dual intent visa categories. Due to the complexity, we recommend consulting with your green card attorney for strategy recommendations throughout the process. Since the PERM to green card process is a collaborative effort at each stage, we work closely with our clients at every stage to collect documentation and ensure filings remain accurate, compliant, and up to date. How the PERM green card benefits employers. It helps to retain top talent long-term. Sponsoring a candidate for a green card helps secure skilled foreign workers who are committed to staying with your company. It helps support business growth. You can access a wider pool of talent when qualified U.S. workers are unavailable, especially for hard to fill roles. It can help reduce turnover and training costs. Green card sponsorship fosters employee loyalty and minimizes the need to constantly rehire or retrain new employees. And we handle the complex process for you, from guiding clients through the process of documenting job duties and titles via our questionnaire to managing all required paperwork. Our agency oversees the full PERM to green card process so you can stay focused on operations. Employment-based process. The types of the employment-based green card process, there's PERM-based, which is the most common. That's EB2, EB3 skilled worker, and EB3 other worker. The non-PERM based, which we won't get into today, are the EB2, I-140 national interest waivers, and EB1A, EB1B, and EB1C. EB3 professional. This requires a U.S. bachelor's degree or foreign equivalent. The degree must be standard for the occupation. The required documentation is a bachelor's degree and transcript, an academic evaluation or foreign degree, experience letters, if applicable, and you cannot substitute education and experience for the bachelor's degree. They must have the bachelor's degree on their own or an academic equivalent. EB3, skilled worker, requires at least 2 years of experience. Required documentation is an experience letter, a high school diploma and transcript, if applicable, and an academic evaluation, if applicable. So if they have a foreign high school diploma, they would need an academic evaluation to demonstrate that is the equivalent of a U.S. high school diploma to meet the requirements. EB3 other worker requires less than 2 years of experience and or less than a bachelor's degree. Example requirements would be a high school diploma and 12 months of experience, or requiring no degree and 3 months of experience. Required documentation, if applicable, high school diploma and transcript, academic evaluation, and experience letters. EB2 versus EB3. Both follow PERM, I-140, 485, or DS-260 processes. EB2 traditionally moves faster than EB3 or EB3 other workers. EB2 typical requirements are a bachelor's degree and 5 years of progressive experience, a master's degree, and 1 to 3 years of experience. You have to pay close attention to the SVP chart and job zones on ONET when you're considering this, as a job zone 3 or 4 and a bachelor's plus 5 years of progressive experience requirement may require a business necessity argument. The PERM stages. There are 3 stages of the PERM-based green card process. Stage 1, we prove no qualified U.S. worker is available for the role. It takes the longest, approximately 16 to 18 months. We manage recruitment, filings, and compliance. Stage 2, I-140 immigrant petition filing with USCIS. We confirm the foreign national qualifies and your company can support the offer of employment. You have to demonstrate the ability to pay the wages at this stage. Usually it takes about 5 to 9 months. However, USCIS has recently stated it will take approximately 13 and a half months in order for these to be adjudicated nowadays. Premium processing is an available option depending on your circumstances, and we prepare and file the petition with USCIS. Stage 3, green card filing, I-485 or DS-260. The foreign national applies for the green card either in the US or at a consulate abroad. The timeline varies by country and the visa bulletin. We monitor eligibility and guide the employer and the foreign national accordingly. And that is the end of our presentation. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Just received 2 questions. I'm going to take them in order. The first one says, I know this is employment-based PERM presentation, but can you address your experience with DOL and USCIS post-shutdown? What I can mention regarding this is that right now, the PERMs are not being touched because the Department of Labor Foreign Labor Certification Division is closed until further notice. When the government reopens, they'll resume their operations under normal processing. But right now, that is how the DOL is impacted on our side. USCIS is still operating as normal. And then the other question I had was, is there a requirement that they had to be here for 5 years before they are eligible for the green card? Nope, that is not a requirement based on the process itself. You set the requirements for the position, and as the employer, you can determine whether or not you would like to sponsor an individual. There have been cases in the past where maybe someone, heard of someone through a friend and had never actually had them work for them. Those can be tricky because you need to prove ability to pay, but I have seen them happen, whereas I have seen companies who opt to be safe and they like to wait a certain number of years before an individual is considered.
Once they open, do they process petitions that are oldest first, and how do they handle deluge of pent-up apps? I believe that's a follow-up about the DOL and USCIS post-shutdown.
Yeah, so how it works is when they reopen, they're going to continue to process the PERMs. They do typically tackle the oldest first, will also be allowed to resubmit and file applications in the flag system once the government reopens.
I will also like to add that we are waiting for guidance once the DOL reopens about how, if and how they were accept any applications that were supposed to be filed during the shutdown. What's the average cost for one individual to go through the green card process? Is it cost effective to do more than one individual at a time?
So I would say the average cost for a person as of right now ranges from about 14,000 to 16,000 for the whole process. It can definitely be cost effective to do more than one individual at a time. The reason being it could shave off some costs in that first stage where you have to pay for recruitment. If you're sponsoring more than one person at a time and they qualify for that same position, then you'd be paying for recruitment for multiple people instead of paying multiple rounds of recruitment.
If you have any other follow-up questions after this presentation, please feel free to email us directly with any specific questions, any consultations. We'll be happy to assist.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate your time today. We hope that this was helpful. And as Deborah said, please reach out if you have any additional questions that you would like to go over, or if you feel that you would like to have a consultation to get this process started for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.